Does anyone know or have an idea of what used to happen when there were no computers?
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Labanya. I'm from South Sudan. I believe, according to our traditions, one, the lawyers were chiefs, and they were mainly men. I can see most of them are men over there. That's one. Then they could beat up drums to invite them for meetings, a council of elders or council of leaders or lawyers for a meeting. I believe by then they were not called lawyer, so then they would sit and discuss matters, and mainly it was around marriages in my culture in South Sudan, and how many cows they would be paying for those. And the lawyers would raise up their hands or with a glass of our traditional wine, say, yes, we agreed to 500 heads of cattle for this beautiful tall black lady and 150 for maybe the other short one. So that's how it was done, I believe, in my country.
Yes, my name is Isiko Arthur, the treasurer, Uganda Law Society. I come from Uganda. You have raised a very pertinent issue, and I can assure you that during those days, there was a lot of misery. Because when it comes to, let's say, doing research, people had to immerse themselves into the books to do that research. They had to move distances. For example, in Uganda, people had to come all the way from the north. From the north to the central, it's around 300 kilometers. So lawyers had to find ways of either coming on a bus or other public means to access the only library by then. That was the National Library, to do that research. So that is how tough it was.
So we've gotten the picture from Sudan and Uganda. We've gotten South Sudan and Uganda. And I think what we've picked is there were tools. She mentioned drums, right? So there were tools that were used even in dispensing the law. And then, as I mentioned, remember, let's fast forward to 1990s. Anybody familiar with typewriters? Where with typewriters, where lawyers would have to type and use carbon paper. If you're serving 7 people, you need 7 bundles, 7 copies, typewriters. There was no Gmail, so service. Yeah, you'd have to serve by hand physically. And tales are told in the legal corridors, as I was saying, about lawyers who refused to adjust when that technology came, and they would still write by hand and give a secretary to type. But how ridiculous does it sound today when we're saying that? But you can imagine in 2000 when that lawyer was saying, no, me, I don't know what this technology is. I'm still going to write my pleadings by hand and give my secretary to type it. Can you imagine how ridiculous they'd sound today because you tell them, why not type it out? That forms the basis of our discussion today. Our bar presidents, we're going to be discussing about, Ramam mentioned leadership. That as lawyers, we need to take leadership and be at the forefront of these conversations when it comes to disruptions and leading digital disruptions, being at the forefront, because they affect dispensation of justice and even the way we do our work. Are we going to work more efficiently? On to the weighty matters. When it comes to, I'm going to speak generally tech, but I want you to be particular on artificial intelligence and adoption of artificial intelligence. When it comes to your members, we all know, we are living in the age of AI, and we've seen what AI can do for, businesses, because as lawyers, what are we running? Businesses. And we've seen the efficiencies that are introduced if you adopt AI tools and integrate them into our work. We're able to operate more efficiently, and we're able to bill better as lawyers in our different membership. What would we point out or paint a picture as the challenges that the membership are facing. And for this one, I'm going to, on average, please spend like a minute or 2 minutes to just point out so that because I have 1,000 questions for you, so that we just point out a general picture. And by the time we're done, we want the membership to have gotten a rough idea of the issues that are common, the issues that stand out. So I'll start with you, Maura. What would you say are the, generally, having painted the different, the picture and the different demographic, which when I pick from all of you, it looks like we're dealing with a young bar, right, in our bar societies. So we are dealing with a young bar. We like the representation of women. We're also dealing with sole practitioners more than the partnerships. How is the membership handling with that, and what are the challenges they're looking at?
The total disruption of common traditional practice of law with the advent of technological advancement means that from a standing point, if you do not embrace the aspects on evolving technology, then you're left behind. And so as a marketplace or a traditional marketplace where our members practice law, whether it is courtroom litigation, whether it is commercial, whether it is real estate, whether it is maritime law, the advent of AI and the assisted technology in that has found root. For instance, if you look at the space of younger lawyers, and I practice in a firm where we are 4 partners, and we have about 5 associates or 6 associates. And I like the point that was put out is that it's a point where you get experience from the young. It is possible to use a document, to take a document and put it on an AI platform, and it can easily even tell you the appropriate forum where you're supposed to take this matter in terms of dispute resolution, and also to generate for you not only pleadings, but sound pleadings, as well as, the necessary case law. For instance, if you're practicing, I'm assuming that we are speaking to all lawyers, that if you're practicing, it can even give you a very contemporary case law that can support you in where you want to go and how you want to advocate your case. Finally, it can even draft for you submissions in court. Now, the only challenge is that we do not have a regulatory framework that intends to address this issue, both at a regulatory framework where the Law Society is a member and also at the judiciary. But the judiciary in Kenya has a policy that seems to address AI development and AI integration.
Right. Thanks for that, Mola. Yes.
Yeah. To me, the
What's
way
happening in Tanganyika, in Tanzania?
yes, in Tanzania, particularly in Tanganyika, that the side of Tanzania mainland, as I've already said, that the majority of those we have are young lawyers.
Yeah.
And also we said that the sole proprietor.
Right.
We don't have big firms. So what I see, taking their age, is that it represents a unique opportunity for AI adoption, because they are easy and access to technology. Because the challenge for we lawyers, we are so slow sometimes, we old school with these digital issues. I hate digital. I don't know why. I like my books, just opening a book and accessing it, but I don't feel like a plaint drafted from AI will assist. I feel like someone will grab my bread and butter. So I just want to remain with that situation. But the young generation are adapted to that AI. But the only what she can be a challenge is that being a small firm, the affordability. We need to see affordability, and also the way on how to access in terms of investment. It can be a challenge to them. Yeah, so it requires maybe our association to have some sort of program or partnership on how it can enhance or invest on AI, So to assist this young generation to access that, because it is useful, it's timely, but also we need also to develop something to protect. I don't know in other jurisdiction, but you'll find that now everybody becomes a lawyer now.
Yeah.
An engineer become a lawyer, a businessman become a lawyer, draft his own. So actually we have also to see on how we can embrace this development, but also protecting it for the integrity of our profession.
Yeah, I think it's part of the challenges that we're facing in the advent of AI, where, non-legal practitioners, where the knowledge was, all here, and the skill sets, you are relied on because only a lawyer can generate an affidavit. But now in this age, there's data. If an AI is good enough, it will generate, it will get it there. But to you, Anthony, the question that I'd ask is what they've pointed out as the challenges, as these conversations, have they made it to the bar associations? Are they being discussed at ULS level?
Yeah, thank you very much. We call ourselves the Radical New Bar. And when I saw the theme, disruptions and adjustments, it is what has been really at the back of our mind, and what we realize is where we're headed, because everything they're talking about, AI is a disruption to the normal legal practice. We cannot stay in the same old, because the world is moving. And we've seen the challenges this has posed to practice, the normal practice. The way some people look at the AI, this advancement of AI as an opportunity, others, there are challenges. We talked about the numbers of the lawyers. Some senior lawyers who feel at some point who felt I needed 5 research assistants. Right now they'll need 1. So that means the other 4 have to find their way or sort themselves, because the work 5 could do, 1 can do. So realized, okay, now this is a challenge to some, whereas the other one thinks now we can survive with less. So we've been having intentional conversations and intentional policies.
How are these conversations looking like
now
when they're discussed at the law society level?
It's about the adaptability. Some members are welcoming these conversations, others are not welcoming them. Of course, looking at a bigger picture of the regulatory framework. So what we actually doing, we are doing it radically. We're calling it a radical shift. I'll give you a clear example of what we are doing. We're shifting, trying to have intentional discussions, have maybe trainings with CLE, but we are doing it radically. Where, for instance, this year, we usually have what we call annual law conference.
Right.
So we decided to say, as the Radical New Bar, we are shifting from that. Ours is going to be a tech festival, 2025, the first of its kind, because we want to push it through so that members appreciate and adopt. And from a personal experience, I was laughing when he was mentioning that, and this is what most members are seeing. I personally recently lost a client because of AI. The client who has a transaction, she says, I want to have a land transaction. I've gotten a client. This is land you've been selling for quite some time. And she says, these are the details. Please help me, give me a sample of of a sales agreement. And I'm telling her, no, this is our work. We are the lawyers, you don't need a sample. And when I hesitate, she tells me, no, don't worry, I'll input AI, the rest will be history. And because I'm trying to protect my fees and my bread, I do not send the sample. I can assure the client didn't come back.
Yeah.
The next I had, the property was sold, and she used AI to generate the transaction.
Yeah.
So the conversations are, like, again, there's a pull between the young lawyers and the old lawyers. Young lawyers seem to understand it, to appreciate it and adopt it, quicker.
Yeah.
But the old, we have that thing of they are stuck in the place, but we are being intentional, and we believe we shall get there, because that's how the world is headed.
I think it's scientific. Historically, young people have always been known to adapt more to technology and new things. Zulu, where have we left? You mentioned, I think all of us mentioned, there's a senior bar. We are all experiencing a senior bar and a junior bar. Where is your senior bar, and what are you doing about your senior bar adopting these disruptive changes?
Thank you so much. I think let me start with an apology from a senior lawyer. This is Professor Welshman Kube from Zimbabwe. He's writing to the Registrar of the Supreme Court of Zimbabwe. I write to request that you kindly place this letter of an apology before their lordships, before whom the above matter will be placed for adjudication. I wish to express my profound regret and apology to the court for the citation of defective and non-existent cases in the heads of argument I prepared and caused to be filed on behalf of the appellant in this matter. These heads of arguments contained multiple case citations that were either non-existent or defectively cited, as correctly identified by the first respondents in their heads of arguments. The number of cases cited were 12. When I read the apology letter, I was left to wonder what was left of those heads of argument when you take out non-existent and defective cases. So yes, AI is a tool for more. I think more work, more efficiency, more opportunities for the legal profession. But of course, there are some fine-tuning
It is a
that we need
double-edged
to do.
sword, yes.
We must adapt. It's disruptive. We can't ignore AI. I think we have to, first of all, it's changing even the way education was done. Assignments now are written on the phone. The lecturer has a hard time to even assess what skills are we teaching the new lawyers going forward. So I think those are some of the conversations we're having, and senior lawyers are now more challenged than young people who are more readily willing to adapt to AI and take advantage of it. We need to be teaching culture of acceptance. AI won't go away. How do we ensure that we, carry everyone on board, the young and the old? We must be discussing quality assurance so that some of the errors, which could be quite grave for justice, as justice is concerned. So what quality assurances can we, provide and regulate? But we must also be talking about funding. AI sometimes it's not cheap, especially quality AI. So how can the bar associations, step in the gap and maybe provide a platform where we are able to, use the numbers to lower the cost of
I like that. And I
adapting.
think that's a conversation that should be had by bar associations on what they can do for their members to scale down these benefits and be able to afford. We were speaking with Batonier Moise yesterday, and he was telling us what the Rwanda Bar Association has done for its members, for instance, in terms of, and I've also seen it in the Kenyan bar, where in terms of insurance, they're able to go and negotiate good rates where the members can benefit on that. So maybe also when it comes to AI tools that are reliable, that have credible data and things like that, maybe it's time for bar associations to look at it and be able to negotiate that for its members. Remember, we said most members are actually sole practitioners. There's also the element of affordability. Africa is a busy hub. We've seen where there are all these foreign firms that are coming and trying to work with, local law firms. And these big law firms that have been there for 300, 400 years and sitting in UK are able to invest in these AI tools and able to churn out this work in minutes. So what can we do as bar associations for our members to enable also our members be able to compete effectively? And Arop, I'm going to ask you, Zulu has just mentioned something about hallucination and quality control, where you'll find our members will just go in and because you're in a rush and you need to file something, you'll go put in something on ChatGPT, it hallucinates, gives you garbage, gives you fictitious cases, but you go and file before a judge. What should the bar association, because most bar associations have guidelines and conducts and rules. And is it time that we also adjusted what we call professional misconduct to this? And how should bar associations deal with this to guide members, that members can still use these tools, but guide them towards what they can and can't do in the confines?
Okay.
Yeah, briefly in a minute, because I'm told we have 10 minutes.
I'll be brief.
Yeah.
as I said, our bar association is very young, the youngest. We have here bar association are older than even their states. Huh?
That's
So for us, as I said, many of our members are young lawyers. They are using some of the AI tools
right.
in area of research and drafting of their pleadings. Unfortunately, in South Sudan, we don't have a legislation, legal framework that is regulating this area. This is one. We are also we don't have the infrastructure for it, and plus other challenges. But as a bar association, for us, the only thing that we are now trying to do to help is we are upskilling the new lawyers. We are introducing some of the legal tech, and we
Right.
have formed actually a committee headed by our deputy secretaries here, a committee for legal tech, whereby is coming up with regulations. In that area also, we're hoping for this collaboration as young, because in our Africa culture, even the young one need to be helped. But unfortunately, these giant members here, none of them is doing anything except for my president, Mr. Rama. So these are the what we are currently facing and what we are trying to do to cope up with the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Moise, should bar associations issue guidelines to members on conduct when using AI for legal work? AI tools for legal work? What are your thoughts? And to your knowledge, do you know any African bar association that has done that? And would the Rwanda Bar Association do that?
I don't think I know one that has done those kind of guidelines, because as we all know, like for instance, when we were speaking at the experience of the East African community, only 2 countries has actually even developed policies, Kenya and Rwanda. So we are still at the policy level, people discussing and trying to understand even what AI is all about. But for sure, disruptions has happened.
So should we cascade it down to the bar level?
At this point in time, I want to believe that's something that we need to consider, because we can't just play like as of yesterday. That's the reason why I'm talking about disruptions. Reason being, in 2016, Rwanda deployed a system called the Integrated Electronic Case Management. So everything that is happening in courts now is online. And of recent, there was an upgrade that is aiming at integrating those AI tools. A chat box where people there will be a possibility of you in an online hearing. You can interact with your client in a private room, or even this kind of request in court, like of an update of how far the court case has gone. Everything is going to be done online. Lawyers are therefore, in one way or the other, they have not much of an option.
Right.
That's the reason why I was talking about that necessary adjustment from the senior lawyers and the young ones. There has to be that kind of collaboration that is going to be in as efficient and as could, so that we can see AI making an impact. The reality is, of course, AI. Everyone, we think about it coming to grab our work. Of course, it's data. It's about data. It's about data, and anyone that has internet can access it. But guess what? AI has no ethics. That's the news in the room. Huh? AI has no ethics. And something that is very crucial that I want to mention. So many people are using AI and are generating documents that are not tailored. Most of the documents that are really generated through ChatGPT and so on, they need a review. And the eye of a lawyer will always be there. That's my view.
Oh, that's true.
We need to use AI. We can embrace it in as much as we can, but then lawyers will always be necessary. There will be that human being touch that needs to make necessary adjustment. Of recent, one of my partners was sent an email that I could literally see that someone has generated from ChatGPT, and he forgot to put the name, and it was like dear
Insert name.
without the name, and you could see that really it's something that someone was just picking, copying, and pasting.
Yeah,
So
I think you're pointing towards wrong use. Yes, there's a wrong use of AI.
Exactly.
Where there's a notion that you're supposed to use AI as a colleague, but not in replacement of
exactly.
you. Yeah.
So we need to advise our clients to be careful.
Yeah,
it's very important. They might be thinking that they are getting smarter to do away with the legal fees, but for sure, there are risks that are going to go with the fact that people think they can play with the legal technicalities.
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree, and thank you for that. Yeah. So Didi, I want to hear your thoughts on what can we do regionally, because we've discussed here the potentials and the issues sound, they are the same. Most issues are the same on, these are the challenges that our members face, and what can we do regionally to make it easier for us to scale and realize these benefits that we're talking about.
Thank you.
As bar associations.
Yes, the first thing we need to do is we need to work in synergy. For instance, what we are doing right now.
Right.
Yeah, interact, unite, and look at the same objectives, the same targets, because AI has invaded our profession. We have then no choice. We need to embrace it. We have to adapt, according to what Charles Darwin said. If you don't adapt, you perish. There is no any other option. This is why we need to share experience and try to outrun the clumsy policies and strategies of our country leaders.
Yes.
This is how we will be really in the actual competition, because the actual one is not happening maybe in our continent. It is a global one, or a universal one, if I may. So this is why we need to be interacting every time it's possible, and try to get to incite others to rush the pace.
I like that. We need to stop having siloed conversations and have stop having siloed conversations where we are only having them in our different countries and in our different bar associations, but have such conversations where we share the same platform, and then that way it's easier to execute and scale.
And it's very important to invest on the youth, because we in my country, for instance, we also have many Boniface who don't want to move. So we have to invest on the youth. They are the most adaptable category of our membership.
Very agile. Yeah, agreed. Rama, here's the kicker. So adoption of AI, we're all talking about how we need to encourage our members to adopt AI, to utilize it the right way. Is it a matter of university education or continuous legal education by bar associations? Which is which? Where should we start? What's the lowest hanging fruit?
I think for bar associations, there's a pivotal obligation and role in terms of equipping the lawyers. Because from the demographic given, we still have senior lawyers who need to adapt, adopt, and accept that AI is now here.
Yeah.
So there's need for that continuous education. Also I remember when we first introduced the e-platform for lawyers, where now from the comfort of your room you could attend court. The older lawyers had a problem, a huge problem.
Yeah.
They only know when the camera is on, some were smoking, when the court session is on, so it was quite hectic. So there's need for that continuous education.
Yeah.
For those who are still in university, I think there's need for a legal unit on AI. I remember...
Should bar associations get involved in lobbying for this?
Yes, of course. As East Africa Law Society, we have a role in harmonization of the legal education across the region. So we do have a forum where we have the dean of all the universities. So this is a conversation we are having with the AI community committee, the telecommunications committee, the data protection committee. So this conversation has to start, if it's possible, from the university level, and those who are already been admitted to the bar, the continuous legal
I like
education.
that.
I wanted to say something. In 2019, I saw an AI tool that could render a judgment. I saw it with my own eyes in Rome. That was 2019. We're now in 2025.
Right.
You can imagine that 2019 technology is now primitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they've developed, and now it's
smarter.
better. Yes.
Yeah.
It's faster, and I'm sure can do justice to any particular case that is handed to it.
Yeah.
What can be done as bar associations and bar leaders that are now here is to see how we can adopt these tools that exist. It's not only ChatGPT. ChatGPT is free and available to everyone. But there are legal tools that exist. And I believe we as bar associations now need to identify what tools are now existent and what tools can we train our members to use as they practice.
I like that.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you all an opportunity for closing remarks. But before then, and I'm not trying to shame everybody, I have a question. Is Fernandez in the room? Fernandez? Oh, he's outside. So Fernandez is from Nigeria. And the other day, I saw I think the Abuja bar was having a CLE. The CLE was on basic, training lawyers on basic Microsoft Word tools. Mark you in Microsoft Word, there's an AI tool, Copilot. But the CLE was on that. I want to ask my presidents, before you give me your closing remarks, who here has had even one CLE on any AI tools, or I'll even expand it, tech tools to your membership?
So as I did mention, because of this change in terms of use of technology that was deployed since 2016, so we do train our members to use the integrated electronic case management system. So this is something that happens on a regular basis. And of recent, because of that kind of upgrade that was done in Rwanda, we had to train the lawyers on the use of the same. Be it, and most of the time, we even sometimes conduct trainings online.
That's very progressive.
By doing so, we believe it's at least even working on the mentality of embracing technology in our practice. Yeah.
That's very progressive for the Rwanda. But I want to challenge my president. Those are the lowest hanging fruits. We can start there, like integrating our CLEs, have a CLE session. We've talked about the gap between the older bar and the younger bar. Teach them how to use Microsoft Word. Teach them how to use, there's Firefly, how many are aware of Firefly, which can attend meetings, transcribe for you? So if you're doing, if you're attending court, it can transcribe for you and provide the transcript notes later. So it's a game changer in how we practice. And instead of waiting for lawyers to discover themselves, train our members. I'm going to give you 1 minute each, please, and do not exceed 1 minute for you to give me my closing remarks. I still have 999 questions, but I'm going to circulate to you. But I want your closing remarks, 1 minute each. I won't guide you on what to say. Yeah, let's start with Rama.
We as bar associations have a role to play in terms of making sure that our membership utilize the tools available. And as you've thrown a challenge upon us, we take it with open arms. And as East Africa Law Society, we've conducted several trainings. In fact, 2 years ago, we did one on AI tool, but there's indeed need to do more. Yeah, there's indeed need to do more, and we do undertake to do this. Thank you, and adapt or die.
Thank you, Rama. DTA.
Thank you very much. Very quickly, I would tell to the audience, mostly to women and young lawyers, embrace and lead with AI, because you have no choice and you have the opportunity to lead. So this is what I need to tell you. This is what takes me at heart. We need to take the opportunity. We need to have AI as a partner. We need to have it as our tool, and we need to harness it. We need really to know that times have changed.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, as I did mention, because I want to stick on the topic, disruptions. It has happened for a very long time ago, and the reality is we have a lot of benefits in using tech and AI in our practice. Two experiences of what I want to share from my jurisdiction. From 2016 up to now, I no longer need a room where to do the filing, because I have everything on my gadget. Yesterday, last night, I was working on my cases while in Nairobi and filing cases in Kigali. Now you can practice litigation in Kigali while sitting in Nairobi.
Transformation.
Can you imagine? Isn't that serious transformation?
It is.
The CLE we are talking about, we can have someone seated in London and train our lawyers in Nairobi and in Kigali. President Makubusi is my friend, but think about it. Huh?
That's true.
Imagine where you're filing. Like, for instance, today you need a store where to file all those documents. And here we are not talking about the environmental impact. When you're printing, that means papers and so on and so on. It's a lot.
And if it burns down.
It's a lot. And it has a cost, by the way. We are also paying money to print those documents. We need to revisit the way we operate. And tech is a solution.
That's
Thank you.
a good takeaway. Arop?
Thank you. I will start by extending my gratitude. This is my first time to participate. Thank the Africa Law Tech and Lawyers Hub. It has been a learning experience, especially the first session that I have attended in the morning. My remarks is we need to collaborate. This is the area that we must make sure that no one should be left out.
Right.
We need to collaborate so that we face this. Now it is a reality. It's not a futuristic thing. It is a reality. So more collaboration is needed, especially in upskilling the new lawyers and plus the older generation of lawyers. So this is in short my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. President Zulu?
Thank you. I'm also excited to be here. This is a great platform, but I want to make AI useful even here. Having gathered so many lawyers, especially bar presidents, I want to propose that, in fact, we take practical steps to collaborating even more. So I'll ask AI to generate an MOU that all of us here will sign and will support our members collectively.
Yes.
That way, we will make it practical
Yeah.
and take a way forward.
And in the MOU, can the bar associations have one CLE as you've mentioned, one CLE once a year?
Yes.
Together for all bar members.
So we'll do
Africa.
that, and we'll have to sign it as one of the, takeaways from this platform.
I love it.
I just want to also just extend further that 2 years ago, we approached LexisNexis, a Zambian bar, and they were able to reduce the cost of accessing some of their services to $100 per law firm. We opened that to Zambian lawyers, and they were able to do it. The AI was a bit expensive at that stage, but if we were to approach them as all of us, as a bar association, and made it, available to all our members, I am sure would increase the value proposition for them and reduce the cost for all our members. It makes more sense for them. It will make more sense for all of us. So I think as part of that MOU, we must approach a reputable organization to make available AI for legal business in Africa. I thank you.
Oh, lovely. I knew there's a reason why we had this panel today. Anthony?
I think we should not just stop here at discussing this. We should, I know there are challenges that most people focus on, but we should harness the opportunities that come with this. But most importantly, for purposes of this, I think we need to commit like the colleagues have said, we commit, we continue collaborating, and we work together to ensure that we at the table of shaping the future of legal practice, especially with this development of AI, because it will affect everyone, and that's why we're headed. So our commitment now, our continued collaboration and support for each other as the bar associations will help us in having a big say in how this is developed. Let it be policy, let it be regulations, let it be innovation. We need to be there and, make a contribution on how the future of AI is going to be shaped.
Right. I love that. Boniface.
Yeah, I appreciate for this opportunity. It's my first time, and it has been fruitful. I enjoyed it. But my advice, or what I can speak, or that we need to have an integrated strategic development and AI tool on our core object through East Africa Law Society as a basis to assist. So we can see how we can join with the other bar association to have a certain tools in respect of our core object. And this one also should embrace issue of access to justice and human rights, issues of legal aid to the need, so that we can have something on which it can be predictable and reliable, and also domestically oriented within our periphery. So don't worry much about my reluctance to technology. That's how I am. I never trust a lot of, that's even typing, I start by writing, because I feel like when I'm doing, I'm going with details, and also I get ownership. But slowly I know I'll go to AI.
You'll adapt.
My friend here has said through AI, he said now develop them all. He has forgotten that you have to also to consult your governing council sometimes. That's the problem of AI, that you cannot just develop and execute it without communication with your friends, because we needed to have ownership so that we can move as a team. But really this, I underscore this program, and really we have to work hard, because we cannot ignore it. It is important, and we ignore it, we are finished. So I accept and commend all the organizers, and we as Tanganyika Law Society, we are going to take the lead on this. We are not going to stay behind. Thank you very much.
That's good. Maura Kabata, 1 minute.
AI should not be seen as a dangerous tool. In fact, it is just in the same way COVID-19 taught us ways that we had not thought of. AI's experiences must be used to advance humanity. And I like the point that was mentioned earlier that AI in the strict sense does not have the ethical face. And we sit here as bar leaders and bar heads, just to remind you that AI does not have boundaries. We have put ourselves in boundaries, and congratulations to the West African Bar Association being one of the most progressive bar associations with free movement of its members within that region. We do not move freely within our region, yet the effects and the unpredictability of technologies is not governed by those barriers. So together as bar leaders across the continent, we must continue to champion and encourage each other to embrace progressive technologies that are suitable for our own members within and without our jurisdictions. I like to say this most of the times, that if you're not on the table, certainly you're on the menu.
That's a good way to end it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being patient with us. We have 8 presidents sitting here, plus my 3 presidents sitting over there from Burkina Faso, Chad, and Niger. Thank you very much, my presidents, and have a good day.